Video games have been around for over 50 years. With advancements in technology, gaming has turned into this massive industry, boasting hundreds of millions of players worldwide. Despite this growth, gaming still isn't socially respected, especially in greater society and even in dating. Why is that? Let's discuss. What is good, y'all? It is TheYoungKingKen, and I want to provide an analysis and my thoughts from a gamer's perspective as to why video games as a hobby isn't respected amongst society. This idea that gaming isn't a respectable hobby has been clear, at least from the dating and social standpoint. A 2024 post from X claimed that gaming is the least attractive hobby for men, according to women. While the validity of this claim is debatable, the responses received show that this sentiment exists in some form. From various videos, social media discussions, personal experiences, and observations, it is clear that women aren't the only ones that feel this way, but men too. So in this video, I will look at 3 of the most common reasons I have found that gaming isn't respected as a hobby, and then provide counter arguments and my thoughts. So before we start, I encourage you to watch the entire video before commenting so you can fully understand the discussion. Let's keep the conversation respectful and open-minded. This is not the type of video where we just bash a whole group of people for their opinions. So without further ado, let's get into this. The first reason gaming isn't respected as a hobby is that many people see it as addictive. I get where this argument comes from, but I think there's a big misunderstanding on what addiction actually means. According to Webster's definition, spending 10 hours a day gaming does not automatically make you addicted. However, if you're gaming for 10 hours a day while neglecting responsibilities, your job, bills, family, ambitions, or significant other, then it becomes an addiction. There's a key difference between enjoying a hobby passionately and letting it take over your life. Unlike movies or TV shows, video games often take hundreds of hours to complete, especially for competitive players. And don't even get me started on esports. Many of those folks practice for hours daily to perfect their craft. But unless gaming is your job, there's no excuse for it interfering with your real life responsibilities. The best way to avoid this issue is to communicate and set boundaries. If you know you have a date night on Friday, don't just cancel last minute just a game. That's a messed up thing to do to your partner. Balance is key, and gaming should enhance your life, not take away from it. Now, I've seen something on social media where this lady mentioned that, and I quote, "My husband, a grown man, is taking Friday off from work so he can play his new video game for 24 hours straight." Now, in my opinion, this is a great example of communicating from the husband's standpoint because he lets her know ahead of time what he's going to do and the reason why. Again, there's no other context to this, but if it was found that they originally planned something that day together or had a major responsibility, then he would be in the wrong for canceling everything. So the problem isn't gaming, it's how some people fail to manage it. Now, when she said a grown man, it wasn't just about her husband taking time off work. It was a clear implication that gaming is some childish or pointless hobby, which brings me to the second reason why gaming isn't respected. And let's be real here, this isn't just women saying this. Many men also claim that gaming is this unambitious hobby, arguing that it's a waste of time and that people could be doing something more productive with their lives. I got men on my feed telling folks that video games take away from what you actually should be doing in life, and it's not alpha or some BS. In mainstream media, gamers are often portrayed as children or socially awkward adults. It's even seen as a scapegoat for when violent crimes are happening at one point at a time. Even gaming commercials and advertisements are often marketed towards kids. So I get why people associate gaming with being something you grow out of, but here's the problem with that argument. By this logic, most hobbies will be considered unambitious. For example, if someone spends 8 hours a day painting, just for fun, are they doing anything productive? Maybe not on the surface. But if they use their art for an exhibit, interior design, or to sell their work, suddenly their hobby is seen as meaningful because it contributes to society. Gaming works in a similar way. On the surface, it may just seem like people are just wasting hours in front of a screen. But if you can make millions painting, why not gaming? Both take skill. One just happens to use a controller. May I mention, there are many types of games too. Ones that test your skills, reflexes, creativity, and more. But on top of that, there are real cognitive benefits to gaming. Problem-solving skills, increased awareness and reaction time, critical thinking, and decision-making. In fact, a University of Surrey study showed that girls who play video games are 3 times more likely to enroll in a STEM-based program. Now, STEM is science, tech, engineering, and math. And what does STEM require? Problem solving, awareness, and critical thinking, the very skills gaming develops. And let's not forget esports. Competitive gaming is now a multi-billion-dollar industry with professional players, sponsorships, and massive audiences. Just look at League of Legends Worlds or an EVO fighting game tournament. These events sell out arenas, putting in millions of viewers worldwide. Beyond that, gaming can lead to valuable business skills through marketing, content creation, streaming, and game development, just to name a few. Some of the biggest names in online entertainment got their start just by playing games. I used to be afraid to mention that I game to others, but I paid too much attention to those social stigmas that hold people back. So the idea that gaming is childish or pointless, that's just outdated thinking. My third reason why gaming isn't respected is that it promotes antisocial behavior. Many assume that gamers sit alone in dark rooms, escaping reality and avoiding social interactions, which supposedly makes them more socially awkward. And to a certain extent, I understand this point of view. Gaming was my primary hobby growing up, and there are definitely times where I could have been more social with the people around me. Back in the Xbox 360 and PS3 days, game chat felt like more casual trash talk rather than forming real friendships. At the time, I believed that since I didn't know these people in person, those connections weren't genuine. But here's why that argument doesn't hold up. The 2020 pandemic changed the way that people view social interactions. With lockdowns keeping everyone isolated, more and more people turned to gaming as a way to connect with others. Lifelong friendships, even relationships, were formed through gaming. In fact, I argue to say that gaming is one of the most social hobbies today. There are so many ways to connect with others through gaming. Through online multiplayer games, whether it's just teaming up with Call of Duty, going in a raid in Destiny, competing in Fortnite, or those Discord communities where these have been the primary hubs for socializing, where people chat daily, playing game nights, or even meet in real life. And streaming platforms like Twitch and YouTube, where you have content creators interacting directly with their audience, forming tight-knit communities. Even before all this, some of my closest friendships started because of gaming. We bonded over our favorite games, and over time, that grew into deeper conversations about life in general. Even hanging out with these people in real life, gaming actually improved my social skills, not weakened them. And let's not forget the in-person gaming events and conventions. Gamescom, EVO, PAX, to name a few, bringing thousands of people together who share the same passion. These events prove that gaming isn't about isolation, it's a community-driven experience. Ironically, the same hobby people once called antisocial is now one of the biggest ways people connect. If gaming makes people antisocial, then so does every book club, group chat, Discord call, or fantasy football league, because it's practically the same thing. So the idea that gaming makes people antisocial, that's just another outdated stereotype. At the end of the day, I think both sides of this debate have valid points. Everyone's perspectives come from personal experiences, observations, and studies. I get it. Maybe you're someone who wanted to have a deep conversation with your significant other, but they were too busy playing a game. Only half listening, nodding away while reacting more to the game than you. That would be frustrating. As gamers, many of us, myself included, talk about wanting a partner who games, but let's be real. I wouldn't want someone who neglects our time together just to play either. It's all about balance and communication, understanding that while we all need time for ourselves, we also need to be present for the people who matter. And maybe you're someone who grew up with gaming, but your parents saw it as a waste of time. Maybe they didn't understand that this is just something you love to do. And while this post I mentioned at the beginning of the video may not be the most valid, the sentiment behind it is very real. A lot of women feel this way because of past experiences, whether it be an ex who was generally addicted to gaming or someone close to them who refused to grow in life. But here's the thing, not all gamers are unambitious or addicted. Many of us have responsibilities, goals, and aspirations. As life changes, whether it's a new relationship, a new job, or more responsibilities, it's natural that the time we spend on our hobbies decreases. I take a look at my own life. 15 years ago, I dreamed of living, talking about my favorite hobby, and sharing my gaming experiences live. Back then, I didn't have the money, tools, or even the knowledge to make that happen. But over time, I studied digital media, learned videography, and picked up marketing skills, some through college and some through experience. Eventually, I found the right tools to do exactly what I'm doing right now. And outside of content creation, I use that same knowledge to help others through volunteering in my community. I got a loving, supporting family and friends that I hang out with regularly. I balance my time between gaming, creating content, working, and maintaining those relationships. That's what balance looks like. Gaming isn't my full life, but it's a key part of it, and that's what I want people to understand. But honestly, never let anyone convince you that your hobby is childish or antisocial. Gaming is a valid hobby, just like any other. It's about how you balance it with the rest of your life. Now, if you find these points interesting and want to give gaming a try, or want to get you or with your significant other to play video games but don't know where to start, I got the video for you. Just check the suggested or the description of the video. And what are your thoughts on this? Comment below. Thank you for watching. I not only do game discussions, but I also do anime discussions, live streams, and YouTube shorts where I do most of my skits. So check out the almost 200 plus other videos on my channel. And if you like the video, please give it a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications on whenever my videos drop. And until the next one, I will need y'all to keep our kingdom seasoned. Y'all.